Hello, this is Deidra Bibb coming from It's a New Thing Incorporated. And today we're going to talk about assumptions. Assumptions are vast and wide, and they vary from person to person. So I guess you could say assumptions are like opinions, and everyone has an opinion about everything and everyone they encounter. However, today I want to encourage you to redirect and refocus your assumptions, especially if you are a social professional, a teacher, a social worker, work in the nonprofit industry, the corrections industry, or even a pastor. People that work with people on a regular basis. All types of people, people that come to you for assistance, direction, guidance. Sometimes it's difficult not to make assumptions. Sometimes it's difficult to stay focused on the individual's need rather than the individual's appearance, the individual's dialect, the individual's presentation. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to remember that what we see is not always what actually is. For example, let's say you're a teacher and you have a student that is very rebellious, very outspoken, disruptive, uses a lot of explicits, very disrespectful. You draw the conclusion that this child is bad, this child has been improperly raised, this child needs some discipline, so many other things that you could draw from that child's behavior. However, today I would like to encourage you to consider that possibly this child is growing up in a neighborhood where this is the norm, where this is what the child assumes is to be done, that this is what the child believes needs to be done in order for this child to fit in. Maybe this child has never been given proper direction or instruction as to how to speak, or maybe the child has never been taught yes ma'am, no ma'am. Maybe the child just needs you to teach him or her the proper way. And maybe you approach a young man on the street, he has his pants sagging and he has tattoos everywhere, and he says something to you in a tone that is inappropriate. Well, how about you turn around and you say to that young man, what you just said to me was not only inappropriate, but offensive. I am a lady and you should address a lady as a lady. Sometimes you may run into an individual who will not adhere to what you've given them, the advice that you've given them. But what if they do? What if they do? The next young lady they approach, young lady or elder lady, they will approach properly. Social workers, oftentimes, you have individuals that come before you and they have financial needs. They are in domestic violence situations. They are possibly homeless. They possibly have mental illness, and they can't properly explain to you what their issue is and how they need you to help them correct it. So, as a social professional, a lot of the times you try not to make an assumption, but if a homeless individual winds up on the other side of your desk that hasn't had a bath in weeks, you draw an assumption. If a young lady winds up on the other side of your desk who is, let's say, 24 years old and is pregnant with her fourth child by her fourth baby daddy, you don't want to, but you draw an assumption, especially when she's on the other side of your desk seeking assistance one more time. As a corrections individual, you may run into a probationer or a parolee that you've worked with before, or that has been on probation or parole several times before, and you may draw the assumption or make the conclusion that this is a waste of my time to sit here and try to redirect this person again. Please don't do that. What I want to encourage you all to do today, whether you're a social professional or just an individual, a regular, ordinary person, I want to encourage you to make positive assumptions. Because guess what? Every time someone meets you, they make an assumption about you too. And most often, it's incorrect. A lot of people meet me and they make the assumption that I'm high maintenance. They make the assumption that I am very educated. They make the assumption that I come from a well-rounded family. None of the above are correct when it comes to me. I am not high maintenance. I'm very down to earth. I come from a low income situation, a broken household. I'm a single parent of 5 children from 5 different fathers. I've just been taught by other individuals that took the time to show me another way to go, another direction to take. They took the time to teach me to speak correctly. They took the time to sit me down and show me the appropriate way to behave. Yes, and in some of those cases, it was painful to learn. Some of those times, it took more than one lesson to learn. So don't give up on those individuals. Don't give up on yourself. Because the assumptions being made by you about yourself sometimes are inaccurate and should not be made. So today we want to learn the lesson not to make assumptions about individuals that we meet and encounter. And if we should have to make an assumption, make a positive assumption. Assume that this person, although now appearing in front of me, appears not to be one that could be a productive member of society. Assume that this person could. Assume that if you took a moment of your time, a few moments of your time, some of your intelligence, some of the education you have been so fortunate to acquire, if you took some of that and invested into this individual, the assumption that this person could be a success is the assumption I want you to have. So let's start practicing that today. Let's make that our new thing to do today. When you encounter the next individual you encounter, you make a positive assumption that this person has promise. This person can, with your assistance, be a productive member of society. This person can be more than what you see and is more than what you assume. Try that. It's time to do a new thing. Why not start today? Again, this is Deidra from It's a New Thing Incorporated. Until next time.